we're recording. My God. Anyway, as I was saying in the previous vlog, it was to do with music, and it was to do with USA and America and their weird ways. I don't know whether it's weird, but they've always had, and I find it weird in some ways that they have records that get released in that country that seems to have their very own mix. I don't know how long it's been going, but I certainly have got records in the 80s, like Aha One and Tears for Fears and Thompson Twins and things like that, and Simple Minds, who basically, for some reason, you get a record and there has to be a US mix of it. I don't know why, but there has to be. And it's quite interesting to hear that. You know, it'd be interesting to imagine that when you listen to the radio in America and you think, oh, they're playing my favourite record by some British band, but you hear it and you go, it sounds a little bit different because they've got US mixes. And the one that really strikes me, I've never found this anywhere on the internet, I do not have a clue about this in any shape or form, but it's why were records actually re-recorded with a different title? Ace of Base actually recorded a song called Life is a Flower. Now, it's a great song, brilliant song by a great band from Sweden. But, for some reason in America, they had to change the title from Life is a Flower to Whenever You're Near Me. And you'll find it on a CD single. It's actually a B-side to Always Have, Always Will by Ace of Base. And I also have it on a 12-inch vinyl record. And that is a very strange feeling for me, because I don't understand why they do that. There's not many records that get the title changed, but for some reason in America there was some problems and the song couldn't be going out as Life is a Flower, so they actually re-recorded some of the lyrics and retitled it as called Whenever You're Near Me. So you imagine what it's like. I suppose there's no difference to internationally singing in another language, but then you're still singing the same song, but in their own language. It's just the fact that you go to you know, it's like singing the American version. So you can imagine what Block Face Space going on American TV and singing Whenever You're Near Me instead of Life is a Flower. It's very and I've never understood that. I've never really known the answer to that one, but I think it's quite a strange little thing about what the Americans have done when it comes to music. But then again, that country is a little bit with it when it comes to music. I mean, there's a story, and I'm not sure how true this is, but I read a story many years ago about the Manic Street Preachers, who have never been successful in America. I did write a little bit about their input into America on Wikipedia. Some fucker deleted it. I don't know whether it was actually Wikipedia or not. Could have been somebody different, but there's a little story about the band that actually recorded a song called If You Tolerate This, Then Your Children Will Be Next. And supposedly, now, somebody said, I know I've got information to say that it's not the only record single released in America by Manic Street Preachers, but it's technically one of the only. They've only had, I think, 2 releases in America that have ever been singles, and that one, If You Tolerate This, Then Your Children Will Be Next, has supposedly been banned from a radio station, or many radio stations in America, because of its long title. They actually said that the title was too long, and DJs didn't really want to announce that on the radio, so it supposedly got banned. Now that makes me think, well, that's stupid, because then again, you'd be damaging the fact that you couldn't play a record like the Bellamy Brothers if you said you had a beautiful body. Would you hold it against me? Because it's actually a long title song, and if you refuse to play the Manic Street Preachers one just because of a long title, you would refuse to play the Bellamy Brothers. But they're going to get away with it and say, but the Bellamy Brothers is an actual classic. They're going to turn around and say the Bellamy Brothers are American. It's a record that you expect on American radio. Yeah, but that doesn't make a difference. Horses for courses, as we should be saying. All records are the same. If you get, you know, and it should be treated not by the fact that it's a long title. I mean, yeah, a band might be pushing it a bit too far when they want to release a record that just happens to go on and on. But then again, it's just the way they've done it. If it's no different to records that have explicit lyrics, but you see the difference with that one is they have proper clean versions as well. I'm just wondering that it's a bit of a silly thing. I can't even imagine it ever happening in England, where radio programs are like, that Manic Street Preachers record can't be played because it's got too long of a title. Because personally, that's one of the only records that ever gets played on British radio, sadly. Anybody who listens to local radio, commercial radio, particularly Heart and radio stations like that, and certain radio stations that are very, very into their commercialised music, can tell anybody that sadly a band like the Manic Street Preachers are very much, they're a little bit, you know, they don't get played very much on that radio station, and if they do, it happens to be their biggest like hits, and they don't play anything other than, you know, the hardcore stuff don't really get played, but the stuff like If You Tell Like This Then Your Children Will Be Next is like one of the biggest songs on British radio. It happens with many of the bands, which is a bit of a shame. I can't help but get fed up of every time I keep hearing. Now, you might say it's a good record, but I get fed up all the time of hearing Snow Patrol chasing cars on the bloody radio because it's all they ever play. That's all they ever do. Every day of the week, or every time Heart Radio or whatever radio station is going to be like, we are playing Snow Patrol and chasing cars. Let's email a DJ or ring them up and say, look, any chance of playing Chocolate by Snow Patrol? Any chance of playing Spitting Games? Any chance of playing Run? Any chance of playing Signal Fire? Any chance of playing a different record by Snow Patrol? And you might get the answer of, I'm sorry, but we don't have them records, but we can play you Snow Patrol if you like. But I'm afraid it'll be Chasing Cars. Oh, it really does my wits in, because that's what radio's all about, sadly. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, you know, just something about music. I hope you keep tuned in. I'm not going to be, my next blog isn't going to be music, apart from the fact that I'm still doing the musical videos of uploading songs, but apart from that, I've got some other bits to talk about. And no, not Cheese. I know Tom did say about Cheese, but I don't think I'll be doing Cheese. What on earth can you talk about with Cheese? It's like Edam or Cheddar, Stilton. You'll be listening. Anyway, bye for now.